Hello, welcome everybody. We are back with another video. My name is Matthew Daniel, and I am accompanied by the one another, Sid Celestin. Thank you, Sid.
Yes, sir.
How are you today?
Very good. We're doing great. We're doing great.
Good. That's what we always like to hear. You know, things are in motion, guys. I'm sure you've been listening and watching our videos and all kinds of fun things happening over the last couple of weeks. And you know, as promised, guys, we are now back on track for making sure we're producing some content for you guys, talking about updates, talking about events, talking about FUNDX and Funder One, and all kinds of fun partnerships and relationships, and making sure you guys are up to speed on everything that we're doing. So, you know, some of the things that me and Seth have been talking about that we're finding extremely important that needs to be brought up in discussion. You know, I mean, some people refer to them as what, Seth, the 1%, the 2%, what do we want to call them, right? And the rest of us, right? The 90% or the 99%. So, you know, I know that's one thing that you know, you find very passionate about yourself, Seth, and the way and how you've come to forming a business and educating people on a certain, you know, mechanisms and certain strategies so that you can benefit from some certain things that the 1% or 2% are. But, you know, that's something that we'd like to jump into conversation about today. So, you know, I'll give you the floor and kind of let us know what, you know, your feelings are on that top bracket that exists out there.
Well, I mean, the key thing about the 2% or the 1%, they call it, I find it very interesting for any one of them. They call themselves either 1%, 2%, be on Facebook right now talking about it and try to help us, try to let us know how they got there and for us to do the same. And myself, the way I see it, like let's say 2% instead of 1%. The way I see it, how can 2% can control 98%? That's the question that I ask myself. And I believe that we are a very intelligent group, which means people. For us to allow or to let 2% control the wealth of the world, not just United States, we're talking about the world, you see? Now, when I see things like that, I ask myself, how can that be? And we as a people, the 98%, we are the one that actually feed them, literally. Because whatever product that they have, you see, available to us, we are the one, because they call us they have a special name for us, that we use stuff.
Consumers?
We consume stuff.
Yeah.
Which means whatever they put out there, we go out there and buy it in mass, not even thinking that they are the one that controls everything that we do.
Right.
Now, when you go back to some of the things that happened last year, we're talking about riots, protestation, and some of those protestations that they actually did last year, and in some areas, they were showing on TV that they had water, they had burgers, tacos for them available. Now, who paid for those things?
Right.
The 2%, right?
That's right.
Think about it. The 2% stay on top at home or by the beach somewhere, sipping on pina coladas or the best cognac or whatever it is that they drink, and they send us water and burgers and tacos for us to riot for them.
Yeah.
Or for us to protest for them. Because they're not there, they were not on the street with us protesting. We are the one doing it.
Right.
Now, how smart they are to do that and how stupid we are.
So what do you think their motivation behind that is? You know, by you know, we've talked about it, right? By separating us or distracting us. So let's start with the separating, right? So why is that important to keep us separated amongst each other?
Well, it is extremely important, right? Now, in our mind, most of us think that this is an issue of black, blue, green. It's a matter of color. It's an issue of color. But we don't see that the 2% that they're talking about that control the 98%, they mix.
Right.
I mean, if you go back to Africa, we'll find out whether it's Nigeria or wherever we go, right, in Africa, we'll find out there's a lot of billionaires out there. They are part of the 2%. You see that? So how can they create that club that they belong to, right? And came up with the idea to make us down there, the 98%, fight with each other, and we don't even know what we're fighting about. 98% of us, and I'm not talking about the 2% and the 98%, I'm talking about in general, we as a people of natural person, they call us, right? We do not know what we're fighting about.
Yeah.
Now, myself over the years, I've partnered with all groups. And I found out the second that we sit down and we came up with ideas, we can do amazing things, which means it's not a matter of color. And they, the 2% up on top, they don't see it as color either. Because part of the 2%, they also other colors. Mm-hmm. So we are the one that's so stupid to follow them, follow their agenda without knowing, you see, that we're hurting ourselves.
Yeah,
because we all have great ideas. Now, one guy was talking to he was a CEO of a company, and we were just talking about that. And he said, now, actually, the person is a white man. We can call him because that's what he is. He said that for years, we've been talking about black men or other color groups came from apes or monkeys or all kind of other animals. Now, with the new technology that we have, how come none of those monkeys talk? How can we have the technology to do amazing things?
Sure.
But none of them so far talk.
Sure.
You see, nobody in the world have met one that they can carry a conversation with. How's that? So this is nonsense that they put into their heads. You see, they put the crap in their heads and they be thinking and talking about it. Oh, black folks or other color folks are from animals, and the other group are from they are people.
Adam and Eve.
You know what I'm saying? So when we look at that, we say how, I mean, I don't want to say stupid, but how stupid can we be to follow that trend, okay, and do whatever they ask us to do, and for us to be thinking, to be fighting with one another, and not thinking.
I know.
Because it's all about dollars and cents.
Right.
That's what it's all about. It's not about color. Because the only color that the 2% knows is green, which means the dollar bill. That's all they know. Now, in order for them to stay where they are on the 2% platform or the 2% group or club, they all of them put together plans to keep us, the 98% where we are, so we cannot advance. Now, today, what we're trying to do is, for us, I'm trying to say that for all of us to think, try to see what's going on around us, because it's not about color. Maybe back in the day it was, but now with the new millennials that we have out there, like with blockchain and cryptocurrency world, we found out that's not what it is about. And not too long ago, I mean, Matt, you can talk about that in depth about what happened with GameStop, how they pulled the plug, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And the top one, the hedge funds, right, could buy and sell. And we saw the opportunity. We tried to purchase, and they block us.
That's right.
They did it twice.
Yep.
Now they passed a rule. I mean, I don't want to call it law. They passed a rule last week, right? Can you explain that? Because you know more about the rule that they passed last week. SEC passed out on what we can or what they can do. They're literally controlling what everything that every move that we make.
It's been a blessing in disguise, guys. I mean, again, coming from a private equity world and following, how private equity works up and since 2010, and playing with Wall Street and in the marketplace, and everybody knows that they're in control, right? But they're very good at misleading and disguising this control, right? So they haven't really slipped up where it's really been publicly known on how hedge funds are working directly with Wall Street. And until now, that's why GameStop and Nokia and AMC and all these other stocks, which I'm personally invested in myself to be a part of this movement, and also an education course for myself. But this is the first time where they've actually slipped up publicly, and where they've messed up. Well, let's start with where they messed up. Number one is the retail stock purchasers coming in, utilizing Reddit and social medias. We came in together and inflated the price of this of this stock purposely. Purposely, right? Because we caught notice that this hedge fund, as the GameStop stock was coming down, they were trying to shorten it, right? So they were basically trying to completely bankrupt that company. And so everybody came together and we put a stop on that, and we started raising the price all the way up. And when I say we, I mean millions of people came in to start trading this thing. So the stock went all the way from $20 or $15, $20 and shot all the way up to about $397 at its peak. And by the next day, Wall Street, they implemented the ability to stop the retailers, which the majority of them millennials use Robinhood. They completely blocked people from trading on there the following day. So that allowed the strategy, and that you can no stock has ever been blocked like that ever. There was no malpractice. Everything was being bought legally, and they completely stopped it. And they put people on notice, and they told them, we're stopping this thing because basically they don't know what's going on and they don't know how to stop it themselves. So what does that mean? They call it the public market. It's not public. They control it. They stopped it. That's not their stock. That is not, the woman, I can't remember her name, the CEO of NASDAQ. I mean, she came out publicly and said she's going to stop this because of the volatility. Well, the volatility was an upswing for everybody else to make money on it, and they didn't like it because all the hedge funds that put in billions of dollars, that put a short squeeze on it, they were losing the money. So they're behind like $3 or $4 billion on that stock. So again, they put out a rule moving forward, because again, that this happened about 3 weeks ago, and as of last week, it started happening again. So what happened was these hedge funds, they didn't have to report, or actually they do. They have to report to FINRA twice a month on how much stock they were purchasing, and they'd rather take the penalty than actually show their performance. So, but you can only take the penalty twice. So after the second penalty was taken, their stock port had to come out again, and all of a sudden the price shot up again, all the way up again. So the SEC,
Right.
Now the SEC stepped in now, and the SEC said, this is the volatility. We will, the new rule, intermittent stoppage. Randomly, they can come in and stop people from trading, which they really mean is the retail stock purchasers. They are stopping them as the price starts to skyrocket. They'll stop it to flatten it out. Because we all know when the stock's shooting up, that's when everybody starts coming in. So every time the stock was shooting up, they stop people from trading. They flatten it out. So this is what they're doing. They're publicly on notice. They told everybody what they're doing. And, you know, like I said, we've been waiting for a moment like this to happen because it's the proof and evidence that the NASDAQ, the public stock exchange, is not really empowering you. They can stop you from making money. Okay?
Because
What?
they are controlled by the 2%.
That's right. It's really meant for them. They want
For
you
them.
to make them more money.
That's right.
As soon as we try to reverse it so we can make more money, they didn't like that. And that's why blockchain is important, guys. And crypto is important because it's decentralized. It's not owned by any one person. It's in the power of the community. It's in the power of the coin holders. It's in the power of the blockchain, which again is completely decentralized. Nobody can come in and shut it down. So again, this is the proof is now in the pudding. We're all very excited. Again, you know, get GameStop for you guys, support that pushing. But no, said that it's been a really crazy experience, you know, following this thing, you know, about how the stock manipulation's been happening, and you know, it all goes back to what the topic is, right? Is empowering, is the machine, right? And
now the question is,
yeah,
why are we on this topic here? The question is, who stopped? In our mind, we think SEC is the one who stopped it. And we're going to say that the SEC, quote unquote, is a government agency, right? But we know darn well the lobbyists in Washington that controlled by the 2% are the one paying millions and billions of dollars every year in Washington to the senators, right?
Yeah.
To stop it. It doesn't have nothing to do with the government. They can care less. If we are making money, they know they're going to collect those taxes. It doesn't have absolutely nothing to do with the government. It's all about the 2% that'll control everything. That's why they allow the hedge funds to go do business and buy and sell, do everything that they want to do. But we, on the bottom, the 98%, we saw the opportunity. We tried to jump on it and make some money, right, and they stop us.
Right.
Literally.
Yeah, and publicly.
And that's why blockchain is extremely important. Because by doing that, by saying what the system is doing, you see, I didn't say the government, because the government doesn't have nothing to do with it. Because the lobbyists came in and they paid those senators for them to go and pass the rules.
Right.
And take it to SEC, and the SEC did whatever they had to do because they got paid, right, by the big boys, which is the 2%,
right?
Right? Because the 2%, what they do with their money? They invested their money into mortgage-backed securities, stocks. That's how they make their money. All the big hedge funds, that's how they make their money, right? So it is in their advantage, right? It's better for them to pay to stop that so we don't make the money, so we can still be under their terms. You see that? So that's why we have, as a people, and again, every day that I have a chance, I always say, thank you to Satoshi. Because creating that blockchain platform, you see, we can do a peer-to-peer transaction. Now, most people don't understand peer-to-peer, what it is all about, right? Because we saw other companies or other platforms that came in with, like for example, DeFi.
Yep.
How can DeFi be a peer-to-peer platform? How can DeFi, which is a decentralized finance, you cannot bring finance to blockchain? Because blockchain equates to peer-to-peer. Yeah, when you see blockchain, you see peer-to-peer, right? Because that's what Satoshi said. This is a decentralized platform. It is a peer-to-peer platform, which means if I want to purchase a shirt, I go to the company or the store, I give them $100 and they give me my shirt. I don't owe them nothing after that because it's a peer-to-peer transaction. It's clear.
Yeah.
Peer-to-peer, you give me what I paid for and you give it to me. Now, when you say you bring DeFi, decentralized finance, to blockchain, how can that be a peer-to-peer transaction? Because you're telling me that I owe you something.
Yeah, there's a debt, right?
It's a debt. You cannot bring debt to blockchain.
Right. Yeah.
But they have it. I don't know how that platform works, right? But to me, since I have a background in mortgage banking, I know DeFi or decentralized finance does not have any, that platform cannot be in blockchain because it's a debt. Because a peer-to-peer transaction, there's no debt.
That's right. Well, I think DeFi was it was an idea, and there was some really brilliant people that came out with a banking background that weren't really well versed in crypto. They did a very good job of promoting it, but you don't hear a lot about DeFi anymore because a lot of those initial coins that started where they were trying to rotate the cost and put cost bidding on them, they all sunk in price. So, again, it was a good start, it was a good idea, but it's not really what crypto is being used for at all. Not really. It's not what crypto is about. So, that's why it's so much different than dealing with the traditional banking system, because again, it is straight peer to peer. So, that's important for people to understand, what from a foundation of, what Satoshi really created and everybody after that of how the coins are being used. Again, there's no debt. Right? It is peer to peer, so there's nothing in between. So no, I mean, that's a great point, Seth. Yeah. So, I think there's on some other topics, again, we were talking about, what do you think the distraction is really for, though? Kind of getting back to that point. Why are they distracting us from? Like, why would they want to put two different type of people against each other? Is it to create the chaos? But how does the chaos ultimately, do you think, creates the top 2% more money, right? What is it that, I mean, it's not creating more consuming, right? It's distracting people while they're doing what? They're moving stocks, they're buying banks. What do you think it is specifically? Why the Black Lives Matter? Why the rioting? Why all these things? Why do you think that directly benefits them in your mind?
Well, in my mind, I think that the millennials right now, I mean, even though I'm not part of it, you are, right? They can think, they can see what's going on. By distracting them, keep them apart, right? So they cannot sit down and think together and come up with something better.
Right, yeah.
Because obviously over the years, this platform that they have right now is not working, right? And the millennials can see that. So now, in order for them to keep them apart, they have to show all that the issues that one have to with another. They try to tell, hey, you have to watch for this guy. Don't trust him because if you work with him, he's gonna do this to you. And they say that to both parties. They come and say that to me, and then they turn around and say the same thing to you. So you're watching me, I'm watching you, and we don't know what we're watching each other for. You see, so we cannot focus on doing what we really can see that can be done to better ourselves, our families, and others. We focus on nonsense, you see, because I'm focused on you saying that you're doing something to me, and you focus on me, and the work that's supposed to be done, to advance the system, the platform, or whatever that is, or the company, cannot be done.
Right, yeah.
You see, so that's what they do, the big divide that we have within ourselves, okay? So keep us thinking all the time, I have to watch you. You have to watch me and, create all kind of a frenzy within ourselves that, I mean, it's just crazy to see what dollars actually make us do on the bottom. And we, again, on the bottom, we trust them.
Yeah.
You see?
Well, we're trained to, right?
We're trained to. That's exactly what it is. We're trained to trust them. like the banks, for example. We trust the bank with everything we do. And they are the one that don't want us to get into any other programs that can benefit us. Like, say, for instance, you go to Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Chase, or any of those banks, you say you want to purchase some cryptocurrency in your account. They will block that account.
Yeah.
They will close that account. See, that's how bad they are.
Yeah.
Because what they found out is that if they're helping us to use the account that we have with them to buy cryptocurrency, and they can see that cryptocurrency is disrupting them, so that basically they're giving you the opportunity to do it to them, which I can understand. But at the same time, that's how bad it is. But we trust them though.
Yeah. Yeah. So the distraction is kind of like a financial suppression, right?
It's all about dollars.
Yeah. So they're suppressing us from, learning more, but it kind of goes back to, where technology is coming into place, right? So like kind of going back to the GameStop thing. Use that as an example because it's very relevant. I think that people will eventually read about what's happening, hopefully, unless the books suppress us from knowing about it too. But so this app, Robinhood, right? That is what really came out, 2 years ago, I think. And I call them retail, stock traders now, right? Because now you have your phone and you can download the stock exchange right onto your phone with the click of a button, right? And you can put in $10, $100, $1,000, $10,000 right onto your phone and buy stocks. So they made it very accessible for the millennials to really start learning how the stock exchange works, right? So we, without, Wall Street knowing, it started, the millennials, as much as we joke, they're lazy. Well, they may be lazy, but guess what? They're behind computers and they're very intelligent when it comes
24/7.
They know technology and
Exactly.
They get behind it and they start to understand it. And you guys are cracking the code on how Wall Street works.
That's
and
right.
Proving the pudding is all these new stocks that are old stocks that are doing very well now is because these millennials are cracking the code together and they're using social media to spread the word, right? And this has never been done before. Back in the 80s and 90s, you had to go to a stockbroker to buy stocks, right? You had to go to somebody, and then now you don't have to. I'll go right on my phone and buy it.
That's
So
right.
more people are using this, they're becoming more educated on it. And that's kind of goes back to what Sed's talking about is the suppression of knowledge. They try to distract us with all these things happening so we can advance to understand these marketplaces to help better ourselves. But, the big one for us was Robinhood. People do understand a huge piece of it. They're trying to suppress that right now. They're suppressing people by blocking people from buying that stock.
That's right.
They're trying to distract you from even using it anymore to frustrate you. And, and that's something we're, as the people, we're going to have to go through right now and deal with that as far as the stock exchange works though. But that's why it's more motivating than ever to deal with cryptocurrency because there's nobody stopping people from you trading. Okay, so I'll give you an example. I'm sure some of you said, Matt, that's not true. Ripple, people are stopping you from trading Ripple. Yes, Ripple on Coinbase because it's in the US, right? But you can buy only on Coinbase. They stopped it in, I think, HTC bit HTC. They stopped it on there too. But you can trade Ripple on almost any other exchange. So again, you can't stop it because it's completely decentralized, right? And the other thing, and bringing up Coinbase is, Coinbase is, and nothing's happened with the SEC on Ripple either, right? They filed a lawsuit against them. They don't even know what they're suing them for, right? There's a new guy that came into town, and the Biden administration hired the new SEC chairman, and he's already taken a ton of heat because of the Ripple and cryptocurrency and the way he's handling it, because he's completely uneducated as where it comes to handling cryptocurrency. He doesn't know about cryptocurrency. He doesn't know how to deal with it. So, it's going to be really interesting to see, where things pan out this year with Wall Street, and as people are becoming more educated on how it works and how the consumers the retailers are going to really start taking advantage of these systems. But but it's more and more motivating for me dealing with cryptocurrencies. Become much more accepted in the United States and around the world. I mean, there's some countries that are completely converting to it as it's just more reliable, right? And that's because the banks aren't involved with it. And we're going to see that start trending a lot more and more over the next couple of months. So, so that positions us, FUNDX, in an amazing position right now. Nobody has thought about what we're doing as far as the real estate marketplace. We have a win-win situation where we're not trying to ultimately eliminate anybody, right? All we're trying to do is make things more beneficial for everybody, right? Rather than just the banks eating. We want everybody to eat and have wealth and create wealth for their family for generations to come. And that's something else that I wanted to talk about, but it was kind of the American dream, right? The American dream has been sold to us as, what do? We go to high school, and then right out of high school, we go, get a college degree, right? In some cases, well, especially college, the price keeps going up and up. It's 100,000, 200,000, so doctor 300,000, depending on what school you're going to, right? So you're automatically in debt, right? Who takes advantage of that debt? I think
the 2%.
Yeah, the 2%. People don't even know that student loan can even be leveraged. I mean, it's really crazy.
Of course.
As
it's on the stock. They convert into stock.
I know, but people don't know that, Seth. That's what we're getting to. And I didn't know that, right? And so, working with you, and that's where it's important for people to understand, how these systems are put in place and why these school prices keep going up and why the schools aren't getting any better. They're old buildings, they all look the same. I'm sure we can all speak the same, even locally, why aren't school systems getting better? But, let's stick to the American dream, right? So you go to college, you have a $300,000 in debt. Okay, you say you become a doctor, right? So, okay, you're out of school and you got to have a place to stay now, right? So then what are you going to go? You're going to go pull out more debt to go buy your home.
Buy a house.
And then you're stuck in a 30-year mortgage. You're
That's
in debt.
right.
You're getting easily, I mean, depending on what state you live in. I live in California. I mean, the medium home in decent areas are at least $700,000. And plus your student loan, everybody's over $1 million.
That's right.
And then a lot of people get behind. So what do you do after a year or two? You refinance, put another 15 years on it.
You start from zero.
From zero. Look how quick we just jumped. And who benefits from each of these steps of the American dream?
The 2%.
There's a lot of, you have to be, there's a lot of successful people out there in positions where they can take care of these debts, but 90% of people, they ride this debt until, I don't want to say it, the day they die, but it's the
exactly.
truth. And how can you build wealth that way? How can you build wealth if you're in debt by the time what are we doing? You're always working for somebody. You're always paying somebody. You're always in debt. That's not the life. That's not the American dream, guys.
That's not the American dream.
We've been sold a misconception of how this is supposed to work. I mean, what we're supposed to have is our home debt-free. What you're supposed to have is no student loans left, right? You don't even want to have to think about refinancing, right? Because your income that you're coming in, you don't refinancing isn't even. It's not even, you don't think about it anymore because the debt's already been taken care of on the home. You have no student. You're living the true quality of life rather than working for the bank, because that's what they want you doing.
That's all you do. You're working for the 2%.
I mean, even your home, right? I mean, it's crazy. Like you have people, they get a mortgage with a home and, honey, congratulations, we're homeowners. Well, you're not a homeowner.
You have to take again.
No, you're actually renting the home, really.
You're not even renting. It's worse than renting.
Right. So you don't own the home till 30 years. So it's again the misconceptions, right? It's the misleading. It's the and these are the things that they don't teach you about. They don't tell you about this in school. They use the language right in front of you.
That's right.
The way that they present it to you, again, is kind of a misleading or distracting way, but it's still right there on the piece of paper that you sign. So, and this is why, Seth and I find important to produce these type of videos where we can bring you guys up to speed, and, as members and community and followers, the more that we can produce knowledge, the more that, you guys can understand really the core value of what Funder One is trying to do. Okay, so that's why it's really important for us. So, Seth, did you have anything else you wanted to touch on?
Well, there's one thing that I forgot to mention. This week, two experts came on TV on the news. They call it news channel, but again, it's a show. We all know it. There's no such thing as news channel. And he said that the debt right now is around $27 trillion.
Yep.
And then he said that each American and their kids owe $78,000.
Wow.
Now remember, now I have 3 grandkids. They all 3 of them American citizens.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we have 7, I think 5, and 1. They already owe the government $78,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
When did they borrow that money? That we should stop those guys to come on TV and call themselves experts to say crap like this to us.
Mm-hmm.
How can you tell me my grandkids and great-grandkids, they have a debt of $78,000 and they can't even talk?
Wow, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And there's $27 trillion, who we are indebted to. We give money to everybody.
No.
Huh?
No.
Everybody will come here and ask for money, we give them money. So how can we be in so much in debt? Huh? We put all that debt on our people, quote unquote, right? Then we give them billions and trillions out. Now, the last thing that I like to point out on that, while we're on that subject, a few months ago, the president, the secretary of finance, and the secretary of Federal Reserve, the president came and said that they have a bond. I mean, he didn't say bond. He said, okay, we're gonna leverage $6.2 trillion as stimulus to help the country. $6.2 trillion that they are going to leverage.
Mm-hmm.
The key word is leverage. What is the meaning of leverage? Leverage means you're gonna make more of whatever it is you have. Now, why he came on TV and told us that? That's the second question. If you come and tell me, why you don't just do it in your office and get it done?
Yeah.
He came on TV with all of the main people that control the money to let us know, put us on notice, not to let us know, but to put us on notice that he's gonna create a bond with us.
Yeah. Yeah. It's his way of asking for permission, right?
That's his way of asking for permission of what he's going to do.
That's right. Yeah.
You see? So he has to have a special meeting just for that. And we have all these experts over the years saying the same crap that we are in debt. President Obama did it. I think it was for $900 billion. President Bush did it twice.
Mm-hmm.
They all came on TV and said what they have to tell us because we are the asset of the country.
There you go. You said it.
We are the assets of the country.
Mm-hmm.
Because we are the one that can create stuff, right?
That's right.
You see, we can hear everybody talking about gold and silver. Now, all those things, all those precious metals, they do not come to existence without us. Do you see that?
No.
That gold, that diamond, that ruby, whatever it is, we have to refine it to bring it to existence so people can purchase it, which means we are the creators. So we are the assets of the country. So that's why the government, anytime that they're doing something, when it comes to creating a bond, they have to let us know what they are doing before they do it.
That's right.
Now, if you want to go, or if you have access to any county recorders or court of records, whether it's California, Texas, or Washington, you can pull that bond and see it for $6.2 trillion. Now, they come up on TV and say, okay, we're gonna give the people, remember, we are the one who approved that bond because they had to put us on notice.
Yeah.
Now, they came up and said they're gonna give us $2,000, or they're gonna give the people, the 98%, $2,000, and everybody's screaming, why are you giving that much money?
Yeah.
We are the one who approved the bond.
Yeah.
We are the creators of the bond. You see what's going on? Mm-hmm. So the 2%ers on top are the one controlling everything. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You see, that's why I said, usually I said, the government, they don't lie. They have to tell us about the bond. But if we understand what they're doing, we understand. If we're done, we're done.
Yeah.
That's why the expert came on TV and said that we're creating a new debt. No, we're not. He said it clearly. We're going to leverage 6.2 trillion. That's what he said. So now if he says he's going to leverage 6.2 trillion, he's going to leverage it. When he leverages it, he's going to make more of it, which means he can multiply by 100, since the United States is a big country. You see? So that's how they do. That's how they, just like they say at times, okay, we create money out of thin air. That's a lie. Because before they create that bond, they have to put whatever they create, before they create, they have to let us know. Yeah. Now we don't know that. If we don't know, you don't know. You see? But that's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, that's right.
You see? So we want our people to open their eyes, not only open their eyes, and go and take a look at the white paper of Bitcoin. Look it up and see what it says. Now you will understand what importance cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, has in this market, how great it is. But you need to understand, because that's the number one problem that we have in this country, actually in the world, is that we, as a people, we refuse to read. We don't read stuff. We don't read nothing. We refuse to read. Now, if we were to read the stuff, all the information, we can find out exactly, can see in the white paper how blockchain is created, what blockchain is all about. Yeah. And the importance of it for us. Because remember, like I always say, blockchain and Bitcoin came after the housing meltdown, not after a financial meltdown. Because Satoshi knew exactly what they did with the mortgage industry back in 2007, 2008. That's why I said Satoshi is a banker. He came out, want to help us, but most of us don't understand the white paper.
Well, hopefully we're getting tidbits so that you start understanding it. And yeah, guys. So look, Said, always a pleasure talking with you.
Same here, same here.
Everybody out there, we appreciate you guys. All our members out there, we appreciate you. Everybody that's learning about us, we appreciate you. Keep listening to our video, our content. Again, guys, we're back on track here. We'll be producing as many videos as we can, bring you guys up to speed. And God bless, and everybody have a great day. We'll be with you guys shortly. Keep following us on our YouTube channel, okay? Take care, Sid.
Take care. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
All right. Thank you.